Hello children, today we continue with our topic autotrophic nutrition, which refers to photosynthesis that takes place in the plants. I told you last time that there are 4 raw materials required for photosynthesis. What are they? One is sunlight, second is carbon dioxide, third is water, and fourth is chlorophyll. Right? So, for the preparation of food by the plants, essential are these 4 things. One is sunlight, second carbon dioxide, third water, and chlorophyll. Photosynthesis can be expressed with the help of one chemical equation, that is CO2 plus H2O gives C6H12O6 plus H2O plus O2. This is a very simple chemical equation wherein 6 molecules of carbon dioxide combine with 12 molecules of water to form 1 molecule of glucose, liberating 6 molecules of water and 6 molecules of oxygen in the presence of sunlight in the chlorophyll. Where is chlorophyll in the leaves? Chlorophyll is present in the chloroplast. There are so many layers of chlorophyll in the chloroplast. We call them as thylakoids. Okay. So, carbon dioxide and water combine in the presence of sunlight in the chlorophyll to produce glucose, water, and oxygen. This is a simple chemical reaction. Right? Now, I also told you that it takes place in 2 stages. One is called a light dependent phase or light dependent reaction, and second one is a light independent reaction. Light dependent reaction and light independent reaction. It is also called light phase and dark phase. Means what? For one step, light is very important, that is sunlight. For what? Light is very important for the breaking up of water into hydrogen and oxygen. The splitting up of water into hydrogen and oxygen takes place in the presence of light. That's why it's called light dependent reaction. Since it takes place in the presence of light, that is sunlight, this is called as photolysis of water, or it is also called Photolytic Decomposition. Photolysis or photolytic decomposition. Photo means what? Light. So, decomposition of water or splitting up of water into hydrogen and oxygen in the presence of light is photolytic decomposition or photolysis. Right? The another one in which the oxygen goes away into the atmosphere, okay, as a byproduct. The hydrogen is used to convert carbon dioxide into glucose. That may take place in presence or absence of light, depending on the type of plants. Different plants follow different method to prepare this food. Like for example, desert plants. In desert plants, the release of oxygen takes place at night. See, All the leaves have minute pores called as stomata. There are a number of minute pores on the surface of leaves called as stomata. The opening and closing of these stomata is regulated by guard cells. These guard cells are bean-shaped structures which open and close depending on the presence or absence of water. Means what? These guard cells will be having the chloroplasts. So, when they absorb water, these guard cells swell. Swell means what? They bulge. The upper side, the outer side of these guard cells is thin, and the inner cell, inner type or inner membrane is thick. So when they absorb water, they will increase in convexity, or you can say they will become bulged. When they become bulged, the opening, which is called stoma, it becomes wider, and through that stoma, carbon dioxide enters the leaves. Oxygen comes out by a process called as diffusion. Absorption of carbon dioxide and release of oxygen takes place by diffusion. Right? During photosynthesis, they absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen. And some of that oxygen released during photosynthesis is reabsorbed by the leaves for respiration, that is producing energy. And through the same stomata, water is also lost in the form of water vapor. So, stomata help in three processes. One is photosynthesis. Second is respiration. And third is transpiration. During photosynthesis, carbon dioxide goes in and oxygen comes out. During respiration, oxygen goes in, carbon dioxide comes out. And during transpiration, excess of water is lost in the form of water vapor. That is called transpiration. Even in other parts also it is lost, even in the stems. Okay, they also lose, they also exchange gases, right? But here photosynthesis is important, it's taking place because of this exchange of gases. Whereas other parts lose water. They may be respiring, they may lose giving out oxygen also, right? But photosynthesis takes place in the leaves because they have chlorophyll. So these stomata help in all the three processes: photosynthesis, respiration and transpiration, which is done due to absorption and losing of water. When they absorb water, they open, stomata open. When they lose water, stomata close. In the desert plants, since there is scarcity of water and the temperature is very high, these stomata do not open up during the daytime. They try to conserve whatever water they have in the plants. Already there is less water, is it not? So they try to conserve that water. If they open the stomata along with oxygen, even water vapor may come out, which they cannot afford to do. That's why they open during the night and they release oxygen at night. And then they prepare starch by a different process called CAM process. There is a different pathway by which these desert plants prepare food. Right? Now, whether it is a desert plant, whether it is a mesophyte, that is another terrestrial plant, or any other plant, there are three events that essentially take place in photosynthesis. There are three events that take place in photosynthesis. One is absorption of light by the chlorophyll. The most important part is absorbing light energy from the sun. Second, conversion of light energy into chemical energy. Conversion of light energy into chemical energy and splitting of water into hydrogen and oxygen. What is it called as? It is called as photolysis or photolytic decomposition. And thirdly, reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates. Means what? Glucose. So these three steps essentially take place in photosynthesis, whether they occur in a serial order, one after the another, or they may vary, as I told you in desert plants. But these three processes do take place in photosynthesis: absorption of light by chlorophyll, conversion of light energy into chemical energy, and splitting of water into hydrogen and oxygen. Thirdly, reduction of carbon dioxide into carbohydrate, that is glucose. Now, the importance of all the four raw materials, that is sunlight, carbon dioxide, chlorophyll and water. How do you show that these four raw materials are very important for photosynthesis? One by one, I will explain the experiments. There are simple experiments which show the importance of these raw materials. So, firstly, experiment to show that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. First experiment to show that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. How you do it? Very simple. Take a potted plant. Take a potted plant. Any potted plant you can take. Take a potted plant and keep it in dark for 2 to 3 days. Take a potted plant, keep it in darkness for 2 to 3 days. Why we should keep it in dark for 2 to 3 days? For destarching. Means what? Removal of starch from the leaves. The potted plant means they will be open outside. They will have produced starch already. Now that starch will interfere with our experiment. So first thing what we have to do? We have to destarch. Destarching means what? Removing starch from the leaves is called as destarching. First we have to destarch it. Second, cover one of the leaves with a black paper and keep it in sunlight for 3 to 4 hours minimum. You can keep it for a longer time also. You can keep it for 5 to 6 hours also. But minimum you should keep it in sunlight for 3 to 4 hours. Take a potted plant and keep it in dark for 2 to 3 days for destarching. Secondly, cover one of the leaves with a black paper and keep it in sunlight for 3 to 4 hours. Black paper and test it for the presence of starch using dilute iodine solution. What you are doing? You are taking a potted plant, gamla, okay, keeping it in dark for 2-3 days. Then one leaf you are covering with a black sheet of paper. Why you are covering it with a black sheet of paper? So that this part should not get sunlight. Right? Then you are exposing it to sunlight so that the plants prepare starch. Then when you take the plant inside, pluck this leaf with black sheet, remove that black paper and pour dilute iodine solution on the leaf. What will happen? You are pouring iodine solution on the whole leaf, is it not? But what will happen here? This whole part, except the part where you have kept the black paper, all this whole part will turn into bluish black. All the remaining part of the leaf will turn bluish black. Only this part which you had covered with black paper will not change in color. Will not change in color. Why it will not change in color? Because it did not get the sunlight. Because it did not get sunlight. So it did not get sunlight, so that part did not prepare starch. Here we are using iodine as an indicator. It gives a color change when starch is prepared. If starch is present, it gives a bluish black coloration. So this simple experiment shows that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. Okay, in my next video, I will show you how to do the experiment to show the importance of chlorophyll and to show the importance of carbon dioxide. Simple water, you can see simply, you don't pour water to the plants for 3-4 days or 1 week. What will happen? Gradually the leaves will dry up and fall down. Is it not? They turn yellowish in color, they will fall down. Don't pour water. So that simple experiment shows that water is necessary for this photosynthesis. Only if photosynthesis food is prepared, they will survive, they will live. Otherwise they will die. Is it not? So in the next video, I will show you the importance of carbon dioxide and chlorophyll for photosynthesis.